Hello, hello, hello. It's Monday again. What have we got? Today is Monday the 19th of March and it's that time of the week again. Facebook Live. I hope you're all well. Welcome wherever you are, whoever you are as you join. Just leave me a comment letting me know you're here and where you're from. Ooh, who sent me a heart? Nice. Who's that? So tonight, what have we got? Oh, we've got some interesting stuff for you tonight. I've got two projects that I've already planned and then two which are a bit, let's see how we go. But just a couple of bits. Hi Lynn, how are you? First one in tonight. Okay. Hi there. Hi. I think I just got interrupted for a second, but I think we're all right now, are we? Oh my, we've got lots of you tonight. Wow. Sounds like you've all been, looks like you've all been queuing up outside. Just bear with me 1 second. Right, I'm just going to fix this up. Oops. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. My phone just gave me a funny error message about connectivity to my USB, whatever it was. I don't know. Can you tell I'm not technical? But let's see if we can get the camera a bit straight for you so you're not... There we go, okay. So, what news this week? What news this week? Well, anybody who's in the UK will know. Hi, Fran, good to see you. Yeah, we had some snow at the weekend. And I hope I don't know if you saw the picture of the snowman that I posted on my page on yesterday, I think it was. So I spent most of yesterday in the garden with my son Rupert. Building a nice tall snowman. It originally started he wanted to do one taller than me, but then I think he got a bit tired after a while and we settled for one about his height. So we're hoping that one will, all the rest of the snow is kind of melted away now, or melting away, but hopefully that will last a little while longer. He's very, very excited because we don't actually get a whole lot of snow in this part of the UK. I'm down in the southeast near London. And it doesn't happen all that often. We've had a fair bit this year, but he's really just, like most kids, I guess, he's just, when snow comes, all he wants to do is get out in it. But it was also a really good chance for him to try out his new ski gear, because we're going skiing this weekend for a week. We're going with the school. So what that means is that next Monday, unfortunately, I will not be doing Facebook Live because I will be somewhere in France, hopefully having a nice warm fondue or après-ski fun of some sort. Knowing that it's a school trip, it will probably be something childlike. So, let me just make sure that we're still running okay. Just 1 second. Yes. I think we're fine. There we are. Okay. I was just double checking that I've still got you all with me with that message. So if you're still with me, just send me a thumbs up or something so you know you're still listening. So yes, next Monday night, no Facebook Live. But don't worry, I have some projects and some videos lined up for you. Is it still cold where you are, Lynn? You're a bit further east than me, I think, are you? Oh, Doreen, I last went skiing about 15 years. Oh, good, you're all still here. I last went skiing about 15 years ago. It was my first time back then, and it did not end well. I looked like I was fine when I was on the nursery slopes, and then my husband took me up slightly further onto one of the family slopes, and as I was coming down, there was somebody in front of me, and I hadn't quite figured out how to turn just yet. So I ended up veering off to the side, and I looked like one of those cartoons, this just ball of snow and poles and skis and arms and legs all rolling down the hill. So I'm hoping that this time will be a little bit more dignified. I'm going to be having some lessons this time round, so fingers crossed I'll actually manage to do some proper skiing this time round. Not least that I don't want to embarrass myself in front of my son. So yes, that's that. The other news I want to just remind you of is that obviously we're coming to the end of Celebration, and I'll be away when that happens. So don't forget to take advantage of our offer if you haven't already, or if there's something more that you want to get. I'm going to be playing with some of the new stuff that was released. I think 2 weeks ago we had some extra stuff released, and then earlier this week, or should I say late last week, a third set of products was released as part of the celebration offer. So if you go to my website, I'll put the link in the post when I'm done. But what we've got is some regular catalogue items, these ones here, which you can choose as your free celebration items, as well as the various products that have been released so far. So it's really fantastic. I mean, one of the things we're going to be using tonight is the Petals and More Thinlits dies, free with a £90 order, and that coordinates with the Petal Palette stamp set, which I'm also going to be using tonight, which is one of my absolute favourites. So it's a great opportunity to get your hands on some of the, if you've had your eye on these things in the catalogue already, then fantastic. Ohio, hi Maria, and who have we got? Missouri, wow, we've got some ladies from very far afield. So yes, that's the second piece of news. Make sure to get your order in before the 31st of March in order to qualify for your free celebration item. So once we've done it now, let's get on to some crafting, because that's why we're all here, right? So the first card I'm going to share with you is, get the pieces out, this one here. And again, it's, oh, Australia, wow. What time is it in Australia, Samantha? So this one is a really, really simple card design. Great way to use up our designer series paper. But I'm going to use the Petal Palette stamp set that I mentioned just now. So for this, we're going to need our basic black card base, which is a piece of A4 card cut in half lengthwise, folded in half to make my favourite type of card base, which is a tent fold. 7 a.m. Samantha. Wow, you're early. Are you on your way to work, or have you got kids going to school? Is it the start of your work day? There we go. So we've got our card base. And then what I've got is I've just cut a strip of our Petal Palette Designer Series paper. Okay, we've got this side on here. And this is perfect for colouring, and I'm actually going to add some colour into this. And I've just cut enough to leave a small gap here for the greeting that I'm going to heat emboss. But I'm going to do my stamping first, okay? Like this. And then we're going to do some stamping on the inside as well. So we'll do our stamping first, okay? So I'm going to use some black and some Flirty Flamingo. So let's do the black first. So I'm going to stamp the large leaf image, which is basically this image here. So you could easily, with the stamp set, replicate this particular pattern in whatever colours you liked, which is really cool. So I'm just going to ink this up. I'm just going to stamp that in the corner, like so. Make sure you can see that. Okay. And then I'm going to take the small flower from here, and using Flirty Flamingo, I'm just going to stamp some flowers. Now, I'm trying, you may not realise this, but we've got a new catalogue coming in June. And when that happens, there's a range of our colours called our in colours, which change every 2 years. And Flirty Flamingo is one of them. So I've been challenging myself recently to try and use more of our in colours before they go away. So that's another great way to bag yourself a celebration item, is that when, sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate here, when the catalogue comes out, the first things that sell out when we announce what's retiring from the catalogue, which will be at the beginning of May, are the in colours, because once this new catalogue comes out, those colours are gone. So the inks, the cardstock, and the ink refills, the markers, you can't get them again. So if you've got a particular favourite of these in colours, then make sure to get your hands on them before they go. And there's always a rush on those. Right, so that's our stamping. Okay, now let's bring back in our card base. And I'm just going to do a bit of heat embossing now. So I'm just going to line these two up. And I'm going to grab our heat tool, excuse me, while I plug it in. Whoops. so we've got our Versamark ink, we've got our white powder, and we've got our embossing body. Okay, and then I'm just going to always embossing body first because that removes all of our static, and we're going to do the thank you. Here we are. So again, just place. You could stick this down if you want, but I never like to stick my pieces down until all my elements are right, because if I got this wrong, then I could swap these around a little bit. So I'm hedging my bets, basically. Right. So let's ink this up, like so. That's it. And then we'll bring in my scrap paper and our white embossing powder. And we'll just sprinkle that like so. Okay, look at that. No spots, and that's because I used the embossing body. I only got powder where I wanted it, which is perfect. Okay, put this away. And then we're just going to heat it. So excuse the noise for a moment while I do this. Here comes the magic. Tell you, it never fails to put a smile on my face the moment when the powder, there we go, the moment when the powder turns and goes glossy. There we go, easy. Okay. Bring our pieces back in, and then I'm going to use another one of our celebration items, which is this Flirty Flamingo ribbon. It comes in a pack of 3. It's just, again, I like the colour. Here we go. I'm just going to cut a tail, so we just fold it in half and then cut from the folded end side, I should say, to the corner. Like so. Okay, and do the same with this one. So we fold it in half and then snip from the fold to the corner, like so. Alright, put that back. And we bring this in, and I'm just going to put a little bit of snail on the side here. Which side did I want it? That way. So I'm just going to put a little bit of snail here, and I'm going to use that to attach my ribbon. Like so. There we go. And then we're going to pop these panels up. So I'll get my dimensionals. And then we're just going to pop our panels on. Have you been having fun with your heat embossing, Lynn? Like I said, you're right. I just never get fed up with it, ever. Every time. There we go. Line that one like so. And I'm just going to get some glue. Pop that on the inside. I mean, this inside with a greeting would make a really nice card all by itself, actually. Let's try and see if we can get this straight, shall we? There we go. So there we have it. Really, really simple card. Great way to use up your patterned paper. It's also a great way to use up your scraps because it doesn't actually use up all that much. But really, really simple. And I love this paper, the fact that, you know, you can keep it as it is, black and white, or you can add colour to it, which makes it even better. So there we go. Card number 1 done already. There we go. Let's just put some of this stuff away. Okay, there's that. There we go. Put that over there. So our next card is also using the petal palette, sweet, but this time I'm going to do a bit of a fold, because a few weeks ago when I asked for requests, some of you guys, thank you Samantha, thank you Maria, you guys asked about folds. Now I'd done a little video a couple of months ago with various simple folds, and this is another really easy fold. Don't mind these score lines, this is my prototype where I've been playing about. But again, this is a really, really easy fold for you to do that just adds just a little bit of extra interest to your cards. So for this one, we're going to use some crumb cake. Yes, Lynn, I love this colour combination. I just think it's very soft and pretty. And in fact, I was considering doing a different colour scheme for this, but I just like this one so much, I thought I'd keep it. So we've got a sheet of A4 cardstock cut to 28 centimetres this way and then 14 that way. So when we fold it in half, what we end up with is a 14 centimetre square card base. Okay, there we go. And then what we want to do is on this side here, we want to measure in 4 centimetres from this corner and make a mark, and then 4 centimetres from this corner and make a mark, and then I'm just going to get my scoring tool, just 1 second. There we go, let's have some room. And then we're just going to take our score marks and we're just going to line them up against one of our score lines. In fact, I'm going to do it on this side because I have marked a line, so it makes it much easier to do something like this. So you can see I've got my bottom score line here and my other score line. So we're just going to line those two up. Take my bone folder and I'm just going to score along that line. Okay, and then we'll just fold it over, and there we have. Hi Lena, welcome, and there we have our fold. Okay, very, very easy. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to create our panels. So I'm going to do some stamping on these. Let me just... So we've got our front panel, we've got our inside panel, and I'm going to need my scrap paper again. Okay, so we're going to use this same leaf image that we used on the other card. Just going to clean it off. There we go. And we're going to stamp that using crumb cake. Okay, so for the inside, which is this side here, I just want one in the corner, like so. Okay, but for this one, I'm going to stamp all over. So quite random. Okay. That, and then we're just going to adhere this piece using some glue to our piece of what's it, the word's gone, what's the colour, early espresso. Okay, and this will be the trickiest part of the card. Okay, so this piece needs to go on here, but obviously I don't want it. I don't want this bit. So what I'm going to do is, now that I've assembled my piece, I'm going to measure 4 centimeters from what top left corner, and then I'm going to measure 4 centimeters in from the bottom right, like so, just like we did for our base. I'm going to draw a line. Let's make sure I've got that right. Oh, it's this side I want. I was thinking that didn't look right. So we want 4 centimeters from there. And I'm just going to draw a pencil line, a light pencil line, between these two. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And I'm going to line up this line against this line here. Okay, so here we go. You could cut it with the scissors if you felt that comfortable, because this bit is actually going to be hidden, so it's not too big a deal if it's not as neat as you might like. Okay, and there we go. So we've got a bit of scrap that actually you could use on another card if you wanted. So I'm going to put that away for a bit. Okay, so now what happens is this piece should fit nicely under here, like so. I'm going to stick that down. Okay. And then I'm just going to do the inside as well whilst I'm here. So again, our very vanilla, onto our earliest line that up, and I'm going to glue that in. Okay, and what you want to try and do is you want to try and line the bit that's visible. Can you see I'm trying to line these two pieces up? Okay, so that when you're looking at the card from the outside, it looks continuous. And then just double check that that's not wildly crooked on the inside. That's fine. Okay, so now we're going to do our sentiment panel here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, that goes with that piece, is I'm going to stamp my bird. And I'm going to colour him with my Stampin' blend. So let me get my Memento ink and our bird, which is here. Just stamp him down on this scrap piece, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to colour him in using my crumb cake markers. Now, ordinarily I would say to you that we normally would recommend that you use sort of like your thick Whisper White or very vanilla cardstock when you're colouring. But he's such a small image, and we're not doing a huge amount of blending, that it'll actually be okay. So let me just check my colours here. Dark crumb cake and light crumb cake. So what I want to do is start with the dark, just along his wing and along the bottom here. And you can see I'm just adding some dots rather than anything else, okay? Because it doesn't have to be terribly precise. And then we're just going to blend that out like so. Okay, and now I'm going to actually add a bit of dark crumb cake back in, just around here, around his wing, and then along the bottom like so, and then blend it in There we go. Nice. Okay. There we have it. And then I'm just going to cut him out using the coordinating die set. Now this is one of the ones I pointed out to you that's available for free with our celebration promotion. That's the word. So I'm just going to quickly cut this out and I'll be right back. And there we go. There we have our little bird. Okay, put our markers back away. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to pop him in the centre and we're going to stamp our sentiments. So we're going to use the thank you again. And we're also going to add the for everything underneath, which is this one. We're going to stamp that in early espresso. So a little bit like I did before, I'm just going to add him. Just place him down so that I can see I want him in the center and then I want the sentiments around him so I can see where I need to stamp. So I'm going to do the thank you first at the top. There we go. And then for everything at the bottom. There we are. Okay. Oops. And then we'll just pop him up in a dimensional. Put on the back there. Get him on nicely, and then just glue that piece onto our early espresso. Okay. Now let's bring back in our card base. We need to stick down this bit here. And I like to use a glue dot for that. So let me just open this up. Find the end, which is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a couple of glue dots just to the corner. So I don't necessarily want this to lay completely flat. I just want it to be held down. Okay, just like that. And then we'll just pop that like so. And then for this one, I'm going to glue him down, but you need to be careful that you glue him in the right place, okay? You only want glue on this diagonal here. So if I flip it over, I want it here. All right, because I don't want glue sticking out the back onto the inside of my card. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm lining up the corners here, and then I've also got an eye for this bit here. All right, and there we go. And that's it, a very simple corner fold card, which I think looks very effective. Now I'm just looking, I need a little bit more glue down here, so I'm just going to add that in and then check this corner. There we go. And there we have it. Card number 2. There we go. So what do you think of that one, guys? You've all gone very quiet. Oh, some hearts. Yay, you're still there. Excellent. So there we go. Now, that's the end of the prepared segment of tonight's show. The next 2 cards are, oh, thanks, Anne. I do like that fold as well. It's just very easy to do. Once you get your head around the measurements and the corners, it's really, really simple. So yes, tonight, the next 2, I'm going to play with 2 of the newer celebration items that were released. So this one here was got some lovely hearts and comments coming through. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So yes, this is Eclectic Expressions, and I just really 10 meters into inches, Fran. Ooh, hang on. 4 centimeters No, my ruler just, I thought my ruler might say it. Hang on. No, maybe somebody cleverer than me can figure it out. 4 centimeters, Fran, is 1 9/8 inches, I think. Anyway, the beauty of that fold is that it doesn't really matter what your measurement is either side, so long as it's the same either side. So you could have done, and this is where in my sample you'll see, if I turn it over, I've got a number of different lines on the back here because I was figuring out how much of a turn down I wanted, basically. So you would start with, say, 6 inches by 6 inches, and then decide if you wanted this to be 1 inch or 2 inch, 3 inch, whatever you like. So as long as it's the same here and here, you'll get this nice little right angle here. Okay, hope that helps. Yes, so I really like this one because this appeals to my sort of eclectic, if you want, style. Oh, Samantha, go, don't want to miss school run. Definitely not. We'll see you later. So yes, I'm going to have a play with that. And then the other thing I wanted to show you was this fabulous new paper that's come out. Again, this is one of the items that you can get for free. It's called Springtime Foils, and there's 4 different designs, and you get 3 sheets of each. It's on a heavyweight kind of card rather than paper. But look at this, you've got these fabulous flowers, and you've got some copper and some gold, and then you've got these dots which are just super, and look at this with the silver and the gold. Isn't that gorgeous? And then we've got the stripe, and I really like the stripe, and I'm going to play with that now. Okay, but the beauty of this, okay, is that you can color it, and it's meant to be colored. So I'm just going to show you a few things that I've been playing with whilst I've been getting ready to go online. Okay, let's bring my bits over. So here's a piece of that flower that I showed you. Just to show you, this one here, this flower is coloured with our Stampin blends. So there are alcohol markers. This one here is coloured with our regular Stampin' Right markers. Now these are not as easy to work with unless you're really good at staying in the lines, because it's harder to wipe it off if you go wrong, whereas with the alcohol markers you've got a little bit more room to manoeuvre. And this one here is coloured using our watercolour pencils. So you can use a variety of colouring techniques, and the card I'm going to do now, we're going to sponge. So I just wanted to show you different ways that you could leave it just as it is because it's beautiful, but if you wanted to add colour, it's just really easy using a variety of different things. So we're going to bring in our scrap paper again. So we've got our black card base, tent fold, my favourite. Okay, just going to fold and score that, and then put it to one side. Right, and then I've got a piece of this striped that just really appealed to me, that stripe. I've also got a little scrap and a piece of white for the inside. So what I'm going to do, and the colours from this came from, believe it or not, my drive home this evening. I was driving home tonight, and the sun was going down, and it was just looked really gorgeous, the orange sky with the sort of black trees silhouetted against it. So I decided to go for an orange and black colour scheme, and because I'm trying to use up the in colours that are going to be retiring, I decided to use Peekaboo Peach. Now, those of you who know me know that Peekaboo Peach is not my favourite colour, so I'm trying to use colours that I don't normally use. So we've got one of our sponge brayers here, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll this over my ink pad to gather up some ink. Now, quick tip for you, when you're brayering, the temptation is to do this, okay, and get your colour on there, but all that ends up happening is you only get colour on this part of the wheel. What you want to do is roll it so that you get colour on all of the wheel, okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an ombre like so. So when you're rolling it on, you can roll it in both directions. Okay, so I'm just going to keep gathering the colour. I want it dark at the bottom and then just getting lighter as we go up. There we go. Okay, so that's enough colour in there, and I'm just going to pull it up a little bit more. There we go, look at that. And you could do that with any colour you like. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Actually makes me almost like Peekaboo Peach. Almost. Alright, so then for our greeting, we're going to use the fantastic perennial birthday. I love the big happy birthday in this stamp set. So we're just going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp that in black. Okay. Just on a little scrap here. Ooh, got some wows. Fantastic. Right, so there's our happy birthday. And then, continuing on with the black, I'm going to use our black shimmer ribbon. I love this ribbon. It's just fantastic. It's gorgeous. Those of you, can you use the blending pen with the inks on the paper, Mandy? Do you mean like taking the ink from the pad and blending onto it? I'll try that in 1 second when I finish this card. Good question. Right. So we're just going to put a strip of this along the back. So we just want a little bit of snail on either side. Oop. There we go. Look at that. Okay, and I'm going to pop this up. And dimensional. Yes, I thought so. Yeah, I'll do it in I'll do that. It's a good idea. I don't see why not, actually. I don't see why not. I'll give it a try. All right. Pop that there. Okay, and then, have I got any? Yes, I'm going to take some of my black rhinestones. Now, these are retired, so if you don't have black rhinestones, if you've got a black Sharpie marker, you can colour your rhinestones to create black ones. Isn't that clever? I'm just going to add a couple of these to give a little bit of extra interest. Whoop, there we go. Right, and that's going to go on our front. So we're just going to trim this bit off, and I'm actually going to pop this up just because I can. Oh, I've just flung the back of the dimensional off and it's landed in my cup of tea. It's floating on the top as we speak. Okay, so there we go. And then on the inside, actually, I've had an idea. In this stamp set, we've got this little... No, I had another idea, didn't I? I had a scrap. That's what I was going to do. So let's find the scrap. There it is. Pop that. In fact, what we'll do is we'll colour this so that it's peach as well. Let's get a little bit more. There we are. And just glue this across the bottom of our inside, like so. I'll even try and get it straight, and then we'll do stamp a sentiment inside, and we'll do that in black. There we go, and then just glue that to the inside. at that. Oh, I'm pleased with how that's come out, if I do say so myself. So there we go, sunset inspired foil stripes. There we go. Right. Fantastic. That turned out quite nicely. But again, you could imagine you could use any colour or combination of colours that you wanted on this card. You could use a whole rainbow of colours if you wanted. Very, very, very easy. But let's go back to Mandy's question, which was, can we use the blender pen and the ink? So let's get this. Let's pull out my my sample piece where I was playing around with it. Is it in here? Yes, it is. So let's get our flower. All right. We're gonna. It is good for a mail card, you're right, Anne. I did think of doing it with grey, but I'm glad I went for the peach. I think it's quite nice, actually. Right, so we've got our ink. I'm going to pull it up on my blender pen, and let's see. Yep, it works. There we go. This is something I was saying to some of my customers before, is that if you really want to get into colouring, an inexpensive way of doing it, if you've already got ink pads, is to invest in a pack of blender pens. There's 3 of them in the pack, and they're interchangeable. You don't need one for each colour that you want to colour with. But it means you can basically colour with all of your any stamp colour that you've got. So there we go. Can you see that? So I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to lift it up. Maybe you can see it as I colour. But as you're colouring on this card, so because it's glossy, you can move the ink around quite a bit. You can pick it up from one area and add it to another. So you really don't need an awful lot at all. But what I would say to you is that when you're using the blender pen, you just got to be careful, because if you go outside the lines, you probably need a bit of alcohol or whatever to try and clean it up a little. But there you go. Can you see that? So good question, Mandy. Thanks for asking. So you've got ink with your blender pen, you've got the Stampin' blends, you've got the Stampin' white marker straight to it, and you've got the watercolour pencils with the blender pen. There we go. And we've got sponging. So there you go. Lots of different ways that you can add colour to this beautiful, beautiful card. Okay. So that's card number 3 done. What time are we at? Oh, it's 9:15. Time flies when you're having fun, eh? Right, so our last card, we'll have to see how this one goes, because this is just a very loose idea in my mind at the moment. I'm not at all sure how it's going to work out. But we're going to use this one. And again, trying to use the soon to retire ink colours, I'm going to use this Dapper Denim. Okay, and then we've got our pieces. So my idea on this one is to try and do a sort of bluish ombre sort of look. So I'm using Soft Sky Marina Mist and Smoky Slate as well. Okay, so we're going to fold our card base. The card base is Dapper Denim. I'm just going to score and fold that in half and put it to one side for the moment. So I'm going to start with this image here, like a barcode. Okay, let's take that. And we've got our front panel here. And using the Dapper Denim, I'm just going to stamp like a border down both sides. Okay, let's see how well I do at getting this straight. Not very is the answer. Let's get it straight. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it... Yeah. So let's line that up on the block a bit better. Yep. Okay. Right, so. And I'm not trying to get a dead straight look, because the image itself is not dead straight. I just want to get just a border, top and bottom. And I'm deliberately overlapping, you can see. Okay, that wasn't quite where I wanted it to go, but never mind. Okay, all right. And then I'm going to play around with the circle. So we've got a larger circle here. And then we have a smaller textured circle here. And the colours I've chosen are quite soft. And that's deliberate because I just want, as I say, a very soft, eclectic, whimsical kind of background. So let's start with the smoky slate. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to do a bit of stamping off as well, like that, and then do a bit of green mist. Just overlap some of these. Oh yeah, I'm liking this. Okay, I'm going to clean that off because then I'm going to come in with blue sky. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Dapper Denim and I'm going to just stamp the smaller image randomly, fill in some of those gaps. Ooh, yeah, I'm liking this. I love those circles. I think they're gorgeous. Right, so I think that will do for there. And then I'm going to take the thank you and I'm going to stamp that using the Dapper Denim, just on a little scrap. Take the back off first. Yep. There we go. And I'm going to trim the ends of that just 1 second. Right. Get my banner punch bubbles, and you're right. They do look like bubbles. Ooh. Do you know, I think this is one of those sets where you just play and play and play and then play a little bit more and just keep on going, isn't it? There's just, every time you look at it, maybe you get a different idea. So I'm going to pop that there like that. Okay. So for that one, I'm going to pop that up in the center here. You can see that I've got it raised a little bit here. Okay. But before I do that, let's see, here we go. Let's see. No, it doesn't need it. I brought in some twine, but I think with the border here, it really doesn't need that extra on there. I think I am just going to do that. Yep, so I'm going to put a glue dot on this side. No, I know. Just had an idea. Excuse me. It needs something, but the twine is not the something. I think we need some silver thread. So I'm just going to wrap that round. I think I've done that about 7 or 8 times. Okay, and I'm just going to add a little bit of snail. Just a little strip of snail here. Okay, and then I'm just going to bring back in my twine and I'm just going to stick it down. Okay, and then tuck any random sticky out bits down. There we go. So we've got a nice little mess going on there. And then we want a glue dot on the other end of our sentiment. Whoop. Put it there. And then I think just one or two little rhinestones, just for a little bit of extra bling bling. There we go, so that's our front panel. Now for our inside, I think we'll just do, let me see, what should we do? Let's do the border along the bottom again. And then let's see what we got. There we go. Got it along the bottom. Right, question for you ladies. Here's the big question, okay? I've used blues and greys, which makes it quite masculine, but I'm looking at this here and wondering, should I put some Wink of Stella on it? So while I glue this down, let me know your thoughts. Stella or no Stella? Because I'm just going to glue this in. Where's my glue? There it is. What do we think? I don't see why men's cards can't be sparkly. And we did put Stella on our rock guitar the other week. Oh, I nearly put that on the outside. Ooh. There we go. That's our inside. No Stella suit. Yes from Mandy. We're divided. There you go. Yes from Doreen. 2 votes to 1 at the moment. I'll let it run for a bit while I clear a bit of space. And there we go. I have silver thread on, that's true, and I do have rhinestones, don't I? That is quite a lot of bling for a fairly male type card. But I love this stamp set. I'm just going to have so much fun. You can see, do you remember last week when I told you about using the background images in your stamp sets? This is just lots of those sorts. And then we've got a nice happy birthday. So I'm getting lots of votes for yes for Stella and no for Stella. So do you know what? I am going to spritz with Stella because that give it a bit of glitz without being too girly. So that's very subtle. Don't know if you can need a bit more, I think. There we are. It's just very, very, I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe there. See that? Very subtle. Not too much. Okay. So there we go. That turned out not quite what I had in my mind, but close enough, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So there we go. So let's just clear away some space. So that was our last card using the eclectic expressions. And then we had this happy birthday, sponging our silver foil. You love the bird card best, Lynn. That one. That one's pretty cool. Let's see if we can get them all in the shot. There we go. In fact, I think we're going to do it this way. So ladies, which is your vote? What's your favourite? Is it the petal palette, the bird, the sponging, or the bubbles, as Anne called them? There we go. So remember now, ladies, next Monday, there won't be a Facebook Live because I'll be away, but I will have some videos scheduled to post while I'm away. Thank you, Anne. Fun as always. I've really enjoyed it. I'm quite pleased with how these two came out. So yeah, I'd love it if you would share this video. Would be fantastic. Would be great. And I will see you all again in a couple of weeks. Thank you all for coming and for your comments and joining in. I love to see them. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye.